Hi everyone, this is Pam Carlberg talking to you, and I sure wish I was there with all of you. I miss you so much. I really wanted to come, but it just didn't work out this year. So anyway, I am still going to do this talk for you on nutrition. I really hope you're having a great week. I know you are. Getting all the classes and time with Andra and the team. So let me get started here. Why do I want to talk to you about nutrition? Why do I think this is important? Well, because it has been my career making this important and sharing it with people. I'm a registered dietitian. That's what I've done for work. I've worked in hospitals and clinics, and for about 20 years, I have taught at the college level. So I'm going to try and do a really brief summary for you of some important concepts that you can take with you as you get ready to leave Haruma and be on your own and cook and all that. And another component of this is that you will get a cooking class this week that Dolores and Lena will help run along with the rest of the team. And we want you to be well prepared to take good care of yourself. So I put this picture on the slide so that you would maybe remember who I am. I've probably met all of you. If not, I'll just look forward to hearing about the week and know that I'll be praying for you as you transition. So let's talk about nutrition. What is it? Well, it is the scientific study of food and how it nourishes the body and impacts our health. So that's what I want to stress because you are about to be on your own. You're going to need to provide your own food. And if you want to really stay healthy as you can, this is an important part of it. So pay attention to eating well. And I'm going to describe some of what that means. So let's think for a minute about what's in the food that we actually eat. Sometimes we don't really think about it that much, right? It tastes good. It gives us energy. And so I want to break that down a little bit for you today. So there's different kinds of nutrients in food. There's different chemicals. If you've had chemistry, you've learned about that. These are things that are critical to how our body grows and functions. We get energy. It provides the structure, stronger muscles, our bones to stay healthy. It regulates different processes in our body that we can have the energy, that we can have a good immune system and not get sick. They reduce disease risk, and we're going to look at the different types of essential nutrients here. Like I said, we're going to do a brief overview. So there's three main, what we call macronutrients that provide us with the most. And these we think of as, types of food. So we're going to talk about carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. These are what we eat the most of. And we're going to talk about each of those because each one of these is very important for our diet. And then there's micronutrients, meaning we don't need as much of them. And this would be vitamins and minerals. And you can see from this picture, it shows a lot of different fruits and vegetables. Just an example of we get them from a lot of different foods. So they're small in quantity and what we actually need, but they're still very important. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is a couple of characteristics of a healthy diet. This is a slide I go over in one of my classes, but we're going to just focus today on adequacy and variety in our diet and what that means. Okay, so an adequate diet would be one that provides you with all of these essential nutrients that you need and enough energy. You at Haruma, you get an adequate diet. Fiber is another thing that in your country, in your culture here, it's pretty easy to get enough of because you eat some beans and grains and that. And these are, by having an adequate diet, it will keep you healthy. So how do you do this? Well, we're going to try and help you with that today. And you want to make sure you cook different types of foods and keep food on hand within your budget so that you don't skip meals, so that you don't use your money for something else and then not have money for food. If you do that, your diet won't be adequate and it will impact your health. Variety means that maybe you really like chapati, but you also try to have some other things like rice or ugali or beans so that you mix it up. Let's say maybe you eat one thing for several days, but then the next days you have a different type of starch. You mix it up. Same with vegetables, fruits, meats. That way you get more nutrients. Uh, this is a slide. I'm probably not going to spend much time on it. This was a kind of like a food pyramid that was designed in the US to help people with an African heritage understand how to eat healthy. Probably see that it shows a lot of vegetables and fruits and greens at the bottom, which are important, and then grains and beans. And as you go up, it has fish and chicken and meat. At the very top is sweets, and that means you shouldn't have as much of those. And then it also shows being active. So let's talk about the macronutrients. Carbohydrate is a main one. Many of our diets contain about half of our energy from carbohydrate. And this can vary based on who you are and what you like, but they provide us with energy. So again, this is your rice and fruits and vegetables and beans and grains. If you like to be active and you're walking, you need enough carbohydrate in your diet. So it's found in all these foods listed here. So you probably have different likes among you. If I asked you what types you would like, it might be a little different. But it's important that we have carbohydrate and get carbohydrate in our daily diet for a lot of reasons. But one of them is energy. They also provide a lot of other nutrients and minerals and vitamins that we need. Protein would be your meat or eggs or beans, fish, those type of things. These are found, protein is found in the cells of all living things. It's actually a very complex structure, but it's really important to our body. It helps our immune system, it helps our muscles, it does provide a little bit of energy. So you get it from these foods, and it's important to have, again, mix it up. Maybe you buy beef one week and the next week you eat more beans. That's fine. It's just important that you mix that up. Milk, like you use in your tea, also provides protein and is very good for you. Fat is something that we think of as like using butter or cooking fat, and that really helps make our food tasty. It also provides energy, calories that we need, and fills our stomach so we're not hungry. And it also has some very important vitamins that we need. So our body stores some fat, which is very important. So just make sure you keep fat on hand and use it in your cooking because it will make your food taste better and it will help you feel full. If you try to make a lot of food without fat, you'll find that you end up being hungry. Now, vitamins are those small nutrients I talked about, and they're important in a lot of the processes in our bodies, like hundreds of chemical reactions. And we don't need large amounts, but they're very important. And they'd be things like vitamin C that you get from some fruit, B vitamins that you get from grains and beans and some meats, folate, things like that. So it's very important that this is why a variety of food will make a difference so you get enough vitamins. Minerals are different. They're a different chemical makeup. This would be like sodium, iron, calcium, and you also get them from eating a variety of foods. So salt you might add to your food for flavor. If you drink milk, you get calcium. Meats provide you with iron. Gals need a little more, so it's important to get your protein foods in there so you get the iron that you need and you don't end up with anemia, which can make you feel very weak and tired. Sometimes just focusing on if we just eat grains and we don't eat enough meat, we can have trouble with that. Water, I'm mentioning that because it's something that sometimes people overlook. We need to get enough fluid in. That's very important for helping our body temperature. It's in the foods we eat. Like if you eat fruits, there's water in there. But you get water from drinking any kind of beverage, so tea, water, milk. So just make sure you're having fluid during the day and staying hydrated. So I would like to mention briefly about weight maintenance. So as you eat and you're on your own, and if you eat enough, your weight will stay about the same. If you eat enough and you're active, and each of us needs different amounts because we're different. And that's okay. But if you find that your weight is going down, you may want to think about increasing your food intake. Maybe you've been skipping meals, or you maybe just aren't using enough fat in your food. You need to eat more often. I like to encourage people to eat breakfast, especially if you're working, you're in school. This is really important for you to get enough energy, to feel good, to eat throughout the day. So try to work hard at having food on hand. So the benefits of eating well is that you'll feel better, you'll have an improved sense of well-being, you'll feel energy, and you will do better in school. If you don't, the opposite is true. You won't have that good energy. You can get sick easier. It impacts your teeth, your eyes, your bones, and it also impacts our mood and our ability to deal with stress if we don't eat well. So keep that as a priority and try to do it with a friend, because that eating with a friend and cooking with a friend can help a lot. So the reason we're having the cooking class today, because we know that if you know how to cook, you will eat better. And I'd love to find out what you'd like to cook, but I think we're going to work on beef, vegetables, and ugali today. So the last thing I want to talk about a little bit is budgeting, because you're going to have to figure that out, and you'll talk about that in your budgeting costs, but learn how much food costs and figure out how to spread it out a little bit. Talk to transition students from last year if you can. One of the former students gave me kind of her budget. She allows about 1,500 shillings a month for flour, rice, pasta, cooking fat, and sugar, and then vegetables that you need to buy almost every other day probably, or every couple days. Detergents add up, and then tea and salt last longer. Then you need to plan for your rent and gas. So all those things add up to about what you get. So the housing kits we will give you will have flour, rice, sugar, salt, lentils, green grams, blue band, and tea. I think I covered it all. So you'll have some staples to get started, but you'll need to buy some vegetables, buy some meat, things like that we can't buy ahead for you. So when you do your budgeting class, think about the food and what you might like to eat and see how that's going to work, allowing about that 1,500 shillings a month for your food. So the cooking class will be whenever it works out this week. Have fun with that, participate, pay attention, and I think that'll help you be off to a good start so that you can cook for yourself or with others, and eat well as well. And I just pray for the best for you. Pay attention to this. It's an important subject for you as you move on, and have a great week. Thanks so much for your attention. And there are also cookbooks that Luann and I worked on last fall. So you will each get a cookbook to go with the cooking class to help you have something in front of you if you need reminders on how to cook. So I look forward to hearing about the week, and have a great time. No, I'm praying for you. Bye.